Is the intro music supposed to be playing?
Okay. Yeah, it was, but I didn't hit the live button. Okay. All right.
I'm sitting there like, okay, wait, is it just me? Is this my mistake?
All right.
Welcome to the After Listening podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Lee. Today I'm joined by Terry O, and we're going to be discussing K-pop. We did a genre discover these past week, 2 weeks, and we're going to be diving in and talking about it. But
Sweet.
first, what have you been listening to lately?
So, my off-topic recommendation this week is, of course, I listen to everything, but somehow this flew under my radar. Zedd, one of the EDM producers out there, he did a song with ex ambassadors and Logic.
Okay.
Have you heard this song before?
Don't think I have. What's the title of the song?
Transmission.
Transmission. No, I definitely have not.
Yeah.
And you said it's
So
it's, it's older? It came out
it,
already, like a while
yeah,
back.
it's old. This song is like 7 years old, but like I just came across
What?
like my algorithm. So I'm gonna play that for you, and I want to get your reaction to it because
Okay.
it is fire. Yeah. So that's the gist of it. What do you think of that one?
How have I not, like, if you had asked me before telling me about this song, do you think you know every Logic song that he's come out with? I'd have been like, yeah, duh. Somehow I've missed this one. And that was pretty good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, just the algorithm was doing this thing or whatever, and then the song came up, and I was just like, Logic, Zed. I was like, ex ambassadors. Hold up, I've recognized
Right?
all three of those names, but not like together on the same
Yeah.
song.
Like,
And I
I
was
think
like,
you turned me on to Zed a long time ago, but
yeah,
yeah, that's a good collab, man.
oh
I don't know
yeah,
how that flew
yeah,
under our radar for so long.
right,
Us both being huge fans of definitely Logic. I'm a somewhat fan of Zed. I think you might be a bigger fan of Zed than I am, but
yeah, yeah. That was insane. Here on the After Listen podcast, we discuss a random music topic or genre or artist to share and debate or just basically discover different genres amongst each other. We love music and we love music discovery, and that's the whole point of the show. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to some obligatory disclaimers. Number one, we respect each other's opinion, regardless of how wrong or terrible that they may be. Number two, we're just discussing the music. If an artist gets canceled before, after, or during a discussion, that does not mean that we're advocating or, defending them. We just talk about the music. So what they do off the microphone, that's their business. And now that that's out of the way, let's get into the show.
well, one final disclaimer for you listeners before we move into it. If you plan to try and become fluent in Korean, you need a little bit more than just listening to K-pop consistently for 2 weeks. Much to my chagrin.
And addendum to that disclaimer, just because you're listening to K-pop and they randomly start speaking English, that does not mean you understand Korean.
No, no, it
Because
does not.
that has tripped me up a couple times listening to K-pop. I'm like, okay, I don't understand nothing they're saying. Then all of a sudden, a few sentences slip through the cracks. I'm like, hold up, did I just? Nah, okay, never mind, I'm tripping. And then they'll do it again. I'm like, hold up, am I really okay? Something's happening. But yeah, this is your genre discovery, Brandon Lee. So take it away.
Well, so I guess I'll just start out by saying I basically have like never really listened to K-pop before this. Like maybe the 5 to 10 songs you had sent me over the years, I might listen to like once or twice, but never consistently or anything like that. So I
Hmm.
really didn't know. Like I had a kind of generalized pop culture idea of what K-pop was, but like I really didn't know like the meats and potatoes of it, I guess so to speak. Which was a big reason why I wanted to do it, was because I thought, love to learn, figured it'd be a good avenue, just exploring something new and seeing, kind of digging in and seeing what is it about K-pop that has like so many people worldwide going crazy.
Hmm.
Um, I will say off the top that I don't know if I could call myself a K-pop fan necessarily after this, but I will definitely say that there are I don't want to say it. There's definitely songs that there's songs for everyone in K-pop. I feel like it's a very wide genre that kind of encompasses and fuses a lot of different sounds together to kind of draw a lot of people in. So if you're trying to get into it as a genre, there's definitely do some searching around. There's probably an artist or a group or band or whatever you want to call them that has a sound that's like right up your alley. I'll be willing to bet. One thing I did want to do, just not really necessarily listening to music, but I was curious as I was listening for like the first week, just what the history of K-pop was. And apparently it's kind of interesting that they have it. What's going on now is called like the third wave. So it started in the 90s. I'm not going to like get into the weeds here. I'm just going to give a brief overview.
Yeah,
Started in the 90s, kind of got even bigger with like the early 2000s into the 2010s. And then with like BTS and like early 20 teens into like the mid to late 20 teens, it like really, that's whenever it blew up. And from the start, like I mentioned just a minute ago, from the start, what's really been a key factor in what's like kind of catapulted it to its, the level of success it's gotten is the fusing of different sounds, from hip hop to rock to more American pop to everything in between, electronic. Like I said, there's literally so many different sounds and stuff, and that's really been a key part of it from the beginning, which I thought was just like super interesting. Moving on to what I really focused on whenever I was listening to, or I don't know how much I want to blame YouTube's algorithm, but mostly like more recent, like probably like maybe like 2013, 2014 to now ish, for like the era, I guess, of songs that I mainly listen to. I did go back and try to listen to like some 90s and 2000s, but they definitely like had much more of the like typical boy band, girl band, like pop group sound, if that makes sense.
kind of like that traditional Backstreet Boy NSYNC sound from that
Yeah, like
era.
again, you did have a little bit here where it would like fuse. You might have like a little bit more of like a rocky beat than like the traditional NSYNC or whatever, but it's still at its like root and core was that, which is not necessarily for me. So it's kind of, I feel like I did my due diligence and spent a few days just trying to listen to that, but just was not having fun. So then I, like I said, jumped to the more modern ones, and it's just, once it blew up in popularity, just the sounds that you can find within the genre, especially within recent years, it seems that a lot of songs kind of trend towards more hip hoppy beats and sounds.
Yeah, that's the one thing I noticed about K-pop, which I have some thoughts on it, but I'll let you continue.
Well, definitely jump in with your thoughts,
Okay, okay,
on that,
I'll
because
go
that
ahead and
was,
say
I mean,
that.
this is like a key point that I have, is that it's like very hip hop sounding now in a lot of ways. So if you have thoughts
Yeah.
on that, yeah, let's dive into it.
All right, so jumping right into it, um, I love all genres of music, and by no means am I saying I'm a purist in any form or fashion. To me, if it sounds good, it sounds good. But the main thing that drew me to K-pop was the obvious hip hop influence. Considering that hip hop is, by at this point in time, pretty much like the number one genre in the entire world. Um, in some form or fashion, there's all different types of rap, from English rap to I heard like some Persian rap before. I mean, and now Korean rap and all various different flavors of it. The Latino rap explosion, all of that. So,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
there's different, a whole lot of variations of hip hop influence. That being said, I love K-pop. I enjoy a lot of it, and by no means am I denigrating it or whatever else. But it is a lot of I don't know the word I want to use. I don't want to come across the wrong way, but it's definitely a lot of appropriation, it seems, of the hip hop and of the African American culture within K-pop. Um, which, I mean, some people may find it offensive. Me, I find it pretty dope. It just goes to show you how much our influence of R&B and hip hop has transcended um, into this whole nother world. And this culture has, in sense, embraced that culture and kind of made it their own.
Mm-hmm.
um, but it is funny to me seeing, these Asian kids or whatever out there doing their thing, and I'm like, hold up, that looks kind of okay. I just kind of just turn my head to it. Like, I'm not trying to be the arbiter of any of this, but I'm just like, I see what you're doing. I appreciate it. It's just kind of humbling. It's nice to see. I put it that way. I mean, I'm coming at it from a positive perspective. Some people don't like it in general, but to me, I enjoy the art form for what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. I feel like there were several songs that were more like I don't. They wore their influences on their sleeve, I guess is one way to say it.
Yeah.
And you can tell for several songs, I thought you could tell that like it's coming from like a place of love almost, like or I guess more like some groups and like the sound they were trying to emulate was like I don't know, and I could be wrong. It could all just be like they found out this sound is profitable and they tried to emulate it, but I don't know. I got the feeling for like I said, several groups that like they had a love before they started making music of like American hip hop sounds and R&B and stuff along that line.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, if you're a hip hop fan and you're making music, even if you're making a you know 8 people girl group dancing pop song, like if you're a fan of hip hop, you're gonna want to throw in some of that in there, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
they do, and it's at first it was very jarring to go from like young men and women doing poppy sing like almost bubble pop type sound, and then like it'll just, which I know we do it too here in America, but just to go from that to into a verse where they just like break it down
Yeah.
and just like spit some bars for a few seconds or a few minutes and then just like go back to that. Um, Also, a big thing, I know I made the kind of joke disclaimer at the start, but whenever you don't understand the language of what's being sang slash rapped,
Hmm.
um, it really kind of makes you focus more. At least, for me, I'm more of a lyrically focused person in general whenever I listen to music. So it really kind of forced me to listen to more of the different beats and the production and like just the flow in general. Which I know you talked about, the few English words or whatever that they'll slip in through randomly
Hmm.
throughout the song.
Yeah.
Um, I was routinely impressed, especially like in those like hip hop sections where they would do that and they would still like keep the rhyme, like switching from Korean, like one line will be in Korean and the next line will be in English and they'll still rhyme with each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's fire. Like that's one of the things that also intrigued me about it as well. Um, just the obviously I don't speak Korean, but just the cadence of it all to
mhm.
where they can keep the flow and still be bilingual or trilingual, as far as I know. But just still keep the flow with it and even with the sometimes the song would change tempos entirely and they'll still just maintain the lyrical flow. So me, again, not fluent in Korean. I don't know what I'm listening to half the time.
Same.
But that being said, I was like, okay, this is dope. I will interject just one little moment when I first discovered K-pop. It was through like a random YouTube video thing. And they said the word nege. And I think in Korean that means love. When I heard
I heard
that,
that word a few times in a few separate songs and I had to stop.
yeah, I
Like,
really was
what?
like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Hold up!" I was like,
Yeah.
I get y'all appropriating the culture, but we can't be dropping n bombs like that. Like you going too hard with the copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it your own a little bit. So I'm just like, they're
Uh,
talking about what's going on, nigga. I'm like, whoa. I had to rewind that back, but and I had to look at the translate, and the translation was, my
like
love.
it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like kind of like sweetheart. They're trying to say sweetheart, but it came off as nigga, and it sounded like I'm saying something else. So, and don't you repeat it, Brandon. But
All right. Unless I'm speaking Korean, I will not.
all right, good.
Which I also don't know Korean, so probably won't
Right?
happen. You actually touched on something I wanted to mention briefly. You said trilingual. There was one of the songs in that playlist I sent you, Cold Blooded by Jessie, I think. And she's
Hmm.
actually kind of interesting because she actually grew up in America, was born in like New Jersey or Staten Island or somewhere like around that area until she was 15 and then moved to Seoul, I think,
Hmm.
or moved to South Korea. But,
Hmm.
and she's definitely more of like like whenever, at least whenever I Googled her name, she was listed as like a rapper, not I don't even know what you'd call it. It's a K-pop artist. She had a line in one of the songs that I posted in that playlist for you, where she does the thing where she's Korean to English throughout the song or whatever, and then it's just one little bit where she says, I think "Hasta mañana," which is like Spanish for "see you tomorrow" or whatever.
Hmm.
I think the first time I heard that song, I believe I was in my car driving to work, and that for a few seconds broke my brain. Just talking about like switching back and forth because I was
Yeah.
like, okay, wait a minute. I recognized that, but it wasn't English. Did I just hear what I think I heard? I had to like replay it a couple times to like catch it, but I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, after I heard that, I was like kind of keeping my ear out. I was hoping I would catch a few more like trilingual little bits like that, but I didn't come across any, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, that's always dope when you kind of your ears kind of perk up, like you're enjoying a song, and then you kind of just tune in on a specific aspect of a song. I love that.
This first song video, sorry, I'm probably a little close to my mic there. This first video I want to play, um, it's I'm probably not like pronouncing this right, but it's NMIXX, and the name of the song is Dice. So that was the group NMIXX.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, that was different. I never heard of them before. I like the switch though. That switches though. I'm a big fan of when the music switches up in a song.
So yeah, that was the main reason. Like I first like because what I was doing is as I was listening, just have random recommended playlist songs or whatever. If I liked one, I would just give it a heart or whatever. And
Hmm.
this was, I think, the very first one that I actually gave a heart as I was starting to listen because of that change. As soon as that changed it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because it was like literally maybe like the fourth or fifth song I was listening to, and like it just really caught me off guard. Because again, I was going into this expecting kind of more poppy, traditional stuff, and it just it hits pretty hard, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was digging it. Oh, the one thing. Hopefully, I'm not stepping on your toes, but the one thing I will say about K-pop in general, the music video production is beyond outstanding.
It
Like
is, yeah.
it is so good. Like it makes me miss the era of when music videos were super important to album sales and telling the story of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it just seems like just get a iPhone and be in a parking garage with 5 or 6 cars, and you got a music video. But I just like the fact, man, that they take it really to heart with the special effects and the
Yeah, I mean the
storytelling and
CGI.
the
Yeah, it's like
CGI is it's like crazy. So I'm like, dang, like it's fun. It's fun to watch.
it's fun to watch. Production value, like, you can just tell, like it's just high value from top to bottom. And it was also kind of why I'm glad you did bring that up because that was one of the reasons I picked that song. In addition to the change halfway through or whatever, that was one of the like more kind of out there. Like I didn't really know what was going on, but I was like intrigued the whole video as I was watching it. I was like, okay. Um,
Yeah, me being a D&D fan, the fact that I saw the dice rolls of that video, I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, us both being D&D fans was also, I'm not gonna lie, a small factor in why I picked that song. Thought it'd be a good one to catch us. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the next song. I'll go ahead and say this is a song that I felt was a little bit more rock infused, rock inspired, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a whole other genre. K rock is
Now there is Korean rock that's by itself, but
yeah.
I did get a little bit down in the mud, I guess, trying to figure out like where K-pop bleeds into exactly as other, like where is there a line? But there's really not a clear line, exactly as where it ends and begins. But
Hmm.
um, kind of where I settled on it was if it was like a boy or girl group and they weren't themselves playing the instrument, I would put it under K-pop. I feel like that was fair.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
But anyways, and this is another one where the video is kind of good.
Hey y'all, what's up? We forgot to mention the song. So the song I'm listening to for the first time is called Scream by Dreamcatcher. Obviously we can't play it here because of copyright, but just to let you know, this is a song we're about to talk about. Bye.
I wasn't really. I was watching my screen, so I wasn't watching you. What was your reaction to that? How do you feel about it?
Okay, so that's my first time hearing that song. First time even hearing about that group in general. Um, I will say honestly, I like the video. The video, I like the story behind it, the
Yeah,
fantasy
it's like a
element.
like a fantasy like journey going on.
Yeah, I can dig that. The song itself is kind of meh. I mean, it's not bad. It's just it's kind of typical. So to me, it's like one of those songs that I would hear but not hear. If that makes any sense,
Mm-hmm.
it's like almost kind of background ish. But the video will win me over. But if I heard the song on the radio, I probably would have honestly probably would have skipped it. But the video, if I caught the video, like that will stop me in my tracks and made me want to listen to the song more to see what kind of story they're telling.
Yeah, the video was actually, I think, probably the biggest reason I decided to pick it because, like you said, it's like the whole like fantasy story going on in the background really kind of like drew me in, and again, just the production value and all that was like top notch. Definitely hooks you
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if I were to take that video and like took the song out and threw an Evanescence song on top of it instead,
That's
that would be like
the whole song makes me think of Evanescence. Honestly, I'm glad you said that. Yes,
like that was the vibe I was getting. I was just like, this song,
100%, and it definitely does. Like it starts out a little bit more like with that they have that like, little guitar riff like right there at the beginning or whatever, but
hmm
then it definitely like slowly bleeds into the more like synthetic pop notes like towards the
yeah,
middle end of the song. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. I was expecting it to kind of go harder than that, but then it kind of just softened up and just did the
yes,
whole pop thing.
it does the opposite of that.
Yeah,
But again, that was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where like you might have some elements infused here and there, but like ultimately a lot of things at its core, like it's still going to go back to the pop.
yeah,
One big thing that I've noticed in just a handful of songs, and I think might be kind of bigger going forward, is like actual American artists collabing with different K-pop groups and artists and such.
hmm
Um, do you know the rapper Anderson Paak?
yeah, yeah.
So he did a collab with this guy named RM.
Okay.
Again, this one also has a pretty unique music video.
Okay. Before you even interject, I just want to say right away, I'm adding that to my playlist.
It's a jam and
Yeah.
a half, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was not expecting that. Like, because it was all right. The first verse was okay. The second verse won me over. And then after that, like, I was like, okay, I'm digging this. Like, it's such like that perfect, not like, it could be like the party starter as well as
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the party's kind of winding down. Like, it's like that perfect in between. Like, we're not at the maximum hype-ish, but at the same time, we're kind of getting that way. So it's kind of like a pregame situation, but
Yeah,
also a upbeat, feel good kind of thing.
it's upbeat, feel good, but it's not like super hype, like Angry Yanks or anything like that. It's just it's a good, feel good, upbeat song, man.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's dope. That's dope. And I'm a big fan of Anderson Paak. I
I am
really
too.
wish, I really wish he could have made the music video, but still without him making the cameo in the video, it's still you still feel his presence,
Oh yeah,
in the video.
and
So
he's on. I don't know if you noticed, but he's on the chorus.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's him doing the hook. I
Mm-hmm.
recognize the voice right away.
Yeah, he's got a pretty distinct voice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
so that was
Yeah, I
actually
like that
like
one.
that was the first song during my discovery journey that I came across that like had a American artist that I actually was like I knew of, I guess.
hmm
There might have been others I just wasn't aware of who they were. And there's a couple others like Psy, and this was actually I don't know how this passed me by, but Psy of like Gangnam Style
Yeah,
fame had a
yeah,
song with Snoop Dogg in like
yes,
2014 or something, Hangover.
yeah. I
Um,
remember that one.
and then Cardi B actually did a song with like a full verse and everything with Blackpink,
hmm
which I'll go ahead and say, out of all the groups that I've listened to and discovered over these last couple of weeks, Blackpink is probably my favorite. I'm just gonna put
I
that out
agree.
there.
Blackpink is top notch. There was one I was going to send you because I like Blackpink, of course. But actually, I might play it for you now if you don't mind. If you
Yeah, no,
do,
go ahead.
let me see if I can play
Because
it.
I had to kind of, I really wanted to just like listen to their like just full discography, but I wanted to kind of keep the algorithm varied while I was still just trying to just listen as much as I could. I didn't
Yeah,
want it to start just every other song to be Blackpink, but I'm definitely
yeah,
probably gonna go back and listen to more of them like after
they
after this.
yeah, definitely. Like they're pretty solid. I don't know their full origin story. I just know I probably caught on to them probably within like the last year or year and a half, like a couple songs that I've heard. I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm digging this because like they had the one song called "Do Do 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 Do"
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just heard
so
that one
that
for the
one,
first time earlier today, actually.
Yeah, that was dope, and the remix is even harder. So, and I know
Oh,
we're both fans of 808s, and the remix goes pretty hard with the 808s.
I didn't even know there was a remix. I'll have to track that down after this.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I'll definitely send that to you offline. But the other group, similar to Blackpink, which this is already playing against my will. There we go. It's a group called 4 Minute. I'm not sure if they're still active, but I discovered them when I was learning about K-pop. So I'm gonna play them for you real quick and tell you and let me know what you think of them.
Okay, that was fire. That was good.
Yeah,
And that was 4 Minute. What's the name of that group? I didn't
four
come across
minute.
them like at all.
Oh, what? That's crazy.
I know, right?
Well, that's the name of the song. How fitting. I didn't even try it. That just happened.
Stars aligned on that one. How old is that song? I didn't pay attention.
Let me see. I think this song came out 7 years ago.
Man,
Yeah, but like I discovered them on that random YouTube video talking about K-pop or whatever. So I was like, okay, they're pretty good. And I have that song, and I have another song by them called "Volume Up." That's pretty much like straight up party song or whatever. So I have that added to my little playlist every now and then when I want to turn up.
yeah, I'm gonna be tracking them. Probably just pulling them up and just checking out several of their songs after that.
Hmm.
Assuming that they're all kind of in that same vein.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Well, before we play the last video,
Let's take a break and get to the last song and process some K-pop.
all right. So this last song, do you remember in around like 2012, 2013, the rap song that came out, "Chicken Noodle Soup" with the soda on
Yes.
the side?
Yeah, I remember that mess.
So there was a remake, a K-pop remake that came out a few years back, and this is one of those where I was talking about earlier, where you can tell it's like the influence. You know, it's coming from like a place of love. Because I actually looked up like how did he like buy like how was he able to like remake this song? He literally
Hmm.
like bought the rights because it was like one of his favorite songs growing up, and he just wanted
Wow.
to remake it. So I want to play it real quick, and that'll be the last video I got, and then we can kind of discuss some of that. And it is by J Hope. It's I wanted to share that because it's definitely like much more silly and lighthearted, and like it looked like a lot of fun, man. Just the cars bouncing in the background, the big monster trucks. I don't know
I'm
what's
so
going on.
mad. I'm so mad that they got Disney Pixar get them cars back there bouncing around in that music video. That is crazy. I totally forgot about that song and the fact being that they remade it and turned it into something that's yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion, this remake is better.
Yeah,
Not even
yeah, yeah.
understanding the words, it's better than
Yeah,
the
yeah,
OG.
yeah. Like that's just crazy. And the fact, man, that because I think Becky G is like a Latino artist, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So you got K-pop, Latinx, or whatever pronoun or whatever, and then you got on this hip hop sample song of a stupid song that I hated, and now I like this. I am I'm so confused. I'm conflicted. My emotions are all over the place right now.
Oh, look, I was right there with you. Because okay, the original song, whenever it came out, I think I was like junior or senior year of high school. I hated it. I thought it was the dumbest song to ever come out. It was like
Yeah,
super popular for like a couple of months. You heard it everywhere. At least I heard it everywhere at the time. And yeah, this is like really just like took me by surprise that one, someone remade this song that I viewed as just like terrible, but two, it was actually like enjoyable.
yeah.
It was,
And the freaking video made me actually like want some damn chicken noodle soup.
I know, right?
Yeah, but I will say the choreography though. I'm sitting there watching them getting down to that chicken noodle soup dance, and I honestly broke out in the sweat watching the video because they were the amount of choreography and dancing that they were doing. It looks fun, but looks exhausting at the same time.
Yeah, they probably put in a lot of work to do all that choreography, I would imagine. Especially like for a video like that where you have like how many people? That's probably like 30 plus people there all doing the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
dance. I don't know that dance isn't super complicated, but
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. Like they had like 30 people probably, and probably well, they probably had about 50, and like 30 made it in the video because I think 20 probably passed out trying to keep up.
but yeah, man, there's just again going back to my sorry, kind of leaning out of you there. Going back to my view or my point I made at the beginning is there's just so much. It's such a wide range of music within the K-pop genre.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where like I would almost like not even like if you had told me like if you had just let me listen to that song like a few weeks before this, like the song like the Chicken Noodle Soup song we just listened to, I would have been like that's not K-pop. That's not like poppy elements, but a lot of people would put that in the K-pop column, you know.
Yeah. I can see that. That umbrella is huge for K-pop.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I definitely appreciate the influence. I'm still trying to get over the chicken noodle soup. Um, but I enjoy the genre for what it is. It's fun. Like for what it's worth, it's visually appealing when it comes to the music videos, and that's the number one thing I truly enjoy about it. Besides the artistry and the production work, of course, but yeah, they seem to put I'm not sure if it's by force or by choice, but they seem to put a lot of work into it. So I'm not sure if it's like a boot camp situation because I know in America a lot of the bands and groups that we saw coming up, a lot of them were like put together. They
Mm-hmm.
some of them were organically put together, but they may start out one way, but then the final iteration of the group
Right,
is
right.
kind of determined by the record label and producers and such. So, but with the K-pop groups, they seem like they're having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully, it's something that they enjoy. But I know as a consumer, I mean, it's amazing seeing the end result of all the work that they put into it. So,
Yeah, and I'm just honestly going into this, I did not at all think I would have this outlook at the end of it, but I'm excited to see like where it's gonna go. Like I'm probably gonna be like keeping up with K-pop at least like semi from now on. Like you know, I want to see or now that it is such a global phenomenon, are more like American and English speaking artists going to be collabing with them and making joint songs together, and even if it's just on the production side of things, like even that would still be amazing to see more of. So I'm excited for what's in store. um, I thought coming into this that it would be fun just because I really didn't know anything about the genre and it would be fun just to experience something new. But I actually like thoroughly found several groups, songs, artists, whatever you want to call it, that I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, it was a real pleasant surprise. This genre discovery, I will say for myself.
awesome. That's what I like. That's the point of the show. It's
Yep.
like to broaden horizons and try new things and hear new things and maybe pick up a language or two along the way.
Maybe I still need to work. Maybe 2 more weeks and I'll be fluent in Korean and I can understand. Maybe that's what it takes.
All right, y'all heard it first. The new album from Brandon Lee dropping next week.
Oh no.
Brand new K-pop album. Y'all heard it here first.
In full Korean. No, I'm not going to put in those little English sound bites.
Yeah, like the occasional English word would be help.
Yeah.
Get me out of this. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the show. Don't forget to do all the things like follow, share, and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you use. Everybody says Apple Podcasts because apparently that's the top one, but whatever, Spotify, Pocket Cast, or whatever. You can check out our website at afterlistenpod.com as well as on Twitter and Instagram at afterlistenpod. Appreciate you. Bye.
Bye.